Well, hello everyone, the Ontario Gardener here. Welcome to my kitchen. In this tutorial video, as in the description that you saw before you clicked on it, is we're going to be doing automated fish. And the fish is the only thing that you can automate properly. Because when you do something like salads, you could have the option of salad, plain lettuce, or with a tomato. And currently in the game, there is no technology or there's no items where you can merge two items together. Like you can't put a lettuce and a tomato together. That doesn't exist. Hopefully at some point logistics are set up where you can do that. So for this example, we're going to do fish. And when you start with fish, you start with blue fish, you start with red fish. As you go on through days 3, 6, 9, and 12, you will have the options to pick another fish. And one of those cards is to give you a third one. And if you have the third one, it's just going to be set up the same way as I'm going to show you here, just a third time. All the materials you see here, the grabbers, the conveyor belts, the safety hobs, the bins, your mixers, and your prep stations are all things that you can acquire as you play. As you see the top right-hand corner, this game is an overtime day 8 save that I have, so I have quite a few things from using copy desk, research desk, etc. Now, the way that I'm going to set this up is for any of the 4 dishes. So you have pink fish, you have red fish, you have oysters, and you have fillets. The 5th one is crab cakes, and you can't use an automated setup for crab cakes because crab cakes require 3 ingredients. You require crab, egg, and flour. And like I said before, you can't merge them together. So this will work for red fish, blue fish, fillets, and oysters. And it's the same setup. You may say, well, we don't cook oysters. It doesn't matter. Grabbers will grab anything as long as the action is completed. Oysters don't need to be cooked, so there is no action on a safety hob. So let's just get set up right away. And you can set this up different ways if you choose to. What I'm going to be showing you is just kind of the way that I set it up. And I'm going to set this up like this. And we have the mixer. This will make a lot of sense once we hit the practice mode. And you have one more grabber here. And then here's where you can use actually other conveyors, something like that, depending on how you want to do it. Now again, this one can be set up, has to be set up this way. You set up a grabber, grabber like this. And you can't use smart grabbers for belts that you won't have access to, because we're not going to have access to these. Now, the ones on the outside here, these could be smart grabbers if that's what you have, because you have access to set these every day. But I would not recommend using smart grabbers for this type of setup, because when you do fish, every day the fish bins will be set up differently. If say you have fillets, oysters, and redfish, and you only have 2 bins, well, there's a random chance that you'll get any 2 of the 3, and they won't be the same. They may be different spots. All right, this is going to go up to a prep station, and this one's going to go to a prep station as well. Now, as you can see, this is actually quite a bit far from where our tables are, potentially over here. Now, if you have more conveyor belts, you can make this longer, or you can just move all these over. It depends on what type of space you have. If you'd have a third one of these, the way I would probably set it up is set up in a bit of an L shape like this, or a bit of more of a square, so you're going like this, just to fit everything in. Now, I will say, if you have conveyor mixers, these conveyors here and here, these grabbers won't be needed. This is just a setup without having a conveyor mixer. Now, if you have the mixers, there's 4 kinds. You have the regular mixer, you have the rapid mixer, you have the heated mixer, and you have the push mixer, or the conveyor mixer, however you want to call it. The heated mixer for this will not work because they are very, 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 very slow. Now, it will work for something like an oyster, because oysters don't get cooked, so it'll grab from here, pass it here, shuck it, pass it through here, and pass it into here. But it's hard to take that chance, so I would not use heated mixers. I would rather just use regular mixers. Now, a push mixer combines a conveyor belt and combines a mixer, and they cost $120. A mixer and a grabber also cost $120. And there is an upgrade. You have to upgrade this one time to potentially get a conveyor mixer. This you have to upgrade one time to guarantee to get a grabber. So it depends on how you want to set it up, what your research has done. But anyway, the way I did this run here is I try to gather all the ingredients or all the items that it could to have one full setup like this, as you see here, before I started automating everything. And it takes a while, it takes practice. So having copy desks like this, blueprint desks like this, blueprint cabinets, which are over here, are really helpful. Now, what we're going to do is just show you how this works. So we're going to go down to practice mode here. Ignore all this stuff here. This is just extra stuff that I have. So we're going to do practice mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to see in these two bins here, I can't highlight out here. This one and this one are going to be random fish. And you'll see how this setup works no matter what it is. Let's go into practice mode and let's show you what happens. Now, this here, we're using red and blue fish. So they obviously they don't need to be mixed. They don't need to be cut. So they're going to go right past this grabber, grabs it, pushes it in. This grabber will, I picked it up. This grabber will pick up anything after the action before it's completed. Since there is no action, it'll automatically pick it up, drag it right to the safety hobs. And I forgot to mention, you must have safety hobs for this type of automation. If these are regular hobs, it will back up. As you're going to see in 2 seconds here, what's going to happen, just let this back up. If this is not a safety hob, this is a danger hob, a regular hob, budget hob, when this cooks, this will burn, and then this setup will not work. It won't work unless you have another conveyor belt pulling off into a bin, but then you got an empty bin. So as you can see, look at this. We have red fish or pink fish, and we have blue fish ready to go. So we grab our plate, and it'll automatically stock up the next one, just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave practice mode, and I want to do practice mode one more time to see if we get something different. And we do. This is awesome. Now you can see how this works. The mixer chops or shucks the oysters. It bypasses the safety hob because it doesn't need to be fixed. And in the back here, the far right one, the mixer is slicing or chopping the fillet is going to the safety hob, which cooks very fast. And there you go. And the way with oysters, you come here and you hit 3 times. And guess what? Because of the way this is set up, you have 1, 2, 3, plus 4, you have 7, actually 8, ready to go. So you can just come in here, grab 3 more, come in here, grab 3 more. Now, if you're doing more than that, like that fast, it won't work unless this is a rapid mixer. But again, this is how fast you need to go, honestly. You go in here, you grab a fillet. You go in here, you grab a couple oysters, and basically using everything up. So there you go. This is awesome because it showed us all 4 ways how to automate the fish. And technically it's just one way, but how all 4 things can be used the same way. If something doesn't need a mixer, it bypasses the mixer. If something doesn't need to be cooked, it bypasses the hob. And that's the beauty of having grabbers. Now, for instance, if this was a smart grabber, what I'd have to do is after this is shucked, I'd have to grab this and I have to place it on here. I'm going to place it somewhere, well, in my hand, I guess. I'm going to place it somewhere else. Or excuse me, I'd place it here to reset it. The ones in the back here, I can't really move my mouse back there. Those can't be set. So you must have regular grabbers, and you can have conveyor belts like this just to keep these even. Now you can run these all the way out to here if you want to put more conveyors or more grabbers. Like I have another one here. You can put this out here to drag them back this way. And yeah, that's basically the way you set these up. This is the foolproof way to automate fish. The 4 fish dish, you have your red, you have your blue, you have your oysters, your fillets. You can, as I mentioned before, you cannot automate crab cakes as of yet. So other than crab cakes, as long as you don't pick that, you can automate fish using this setup or a variation of this setup. Say you have danger hobs. Well, what you do is you basically would you'd keep this same setup like this, but instead of having this turned on, you'd have this sitting here and you'd have another one here. So your fillets would grab this, you'd slap one on there, it'd cook it, put it into this. So there are variations of how to do this. But the safest and best way, in my opinion, is doing it like this. It takes a bit of time to save up all these resources, but as you see in my top left corner, I have 920 coins, and that's after OT8, just on fish. No sides, no anything else. But anyway, please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button. If you like tutorials like this, feel free to let me know what other type of PlateUp tutorials you would like. Fish is the only one that you can fully automate in this manner. Pies you can't, salads you can't, toast you can't. You can't automate anything else besides this. Even burgers you can't because they require 2 items going in. One would be the roll and one would be the meat. So you can't automate anything else like you can automate fish as of yet in PlateUp. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more of my tutorial series. Thanks for watching.